making a junk journal cover always feels like conquering the final boss, doesn't it? It's like I know exactly what I have to do, but what do I have to do? Do you know that situation? Oh my goodness. Welcome. This is Luisa Heinzel. Today with the goal to make something like a journal topper for my CHAMELEON junk journal, which is already under this pile of stuff I have collected, or let's say chosen, to make this whole thing. So, as nearly always with this little series here on my channel, you already know more than I do, because you have already seen a flip through of this journal in my CHAMELEON paper premiere, which has already happened here on my channel a few days ago. You can still watch that premiere as a replay. The link is down below in the description box. So that means the chat you will see there is not live anymore, but you can still watch the video. And in that video, I show you the finished journal as a flip through. I talk about the paper collection, CHAMELEON, which you can find in my shop and which is also linked down below in the description box. And there you have already seen the final cover, yeah, and how this looked. Even if I think that the word looked is grammarly probably not correct, because you know, it's like a little time travel. I wanted that you can see what you can make with the paper collection first, meaning a whole journal, and then I wanted to dive into detail about some of the things I have done in the journal. That's why I have shown you the finished journal already in the premiere, and in other videos you can then see how I have made some of the things, like for example, no, this I made off camera, but the idea behind this, for example, is existing as a video. I have demonstrated this little, like layering technique on another page, not this one, and sorry, also not this one, but it's the same idea. Yeah, so some of the things I have made in the journal you can find as separate videos. There's a whole playlist linked below this video where you can find everything you might want to know about this and the single components. And now I want to make the cover, and I have a rough idea, but I don't know exactly how that will come out and if it can work. So I thought, let's do the Barbara method. Barbara at 49 Dragonflies always tells us that she, in the most cases, doesn't have a really clear vision of her end result. So that she then says, I do baby steps to come to my end result. And I want to try something like that today. So what I have already chosen is the following stuff. This is some Tim Holtz fabric, and I thought that this would fit really, really well as something like a background layer around the cover. And I have chosen this. This is a piece of jeans, and I want to have that on the spine so that the spine is really visible as a spine. This piece of this cool book cover here, I have this for such a long time, and I thought this fits really, really well. I love this color in combination with this fabric, and this somehow reminds me to some of the patterns I have in the journal, even if it's not exactly the same. But I thought it could be nice to have a piece of this on here. I'm so sorry. And this is hard to show. And then this stuff here behind here so that it wraps around the spine. And I want to do something special with this paper here, which obviously comes from my CHAMELEON junk journal pages. I want to put that on here, but somehow that this green is still visible. Yeah. So I had this on my desk. I mean, you can clearly see what this shall become, can't you? The first thing I want to do is I want to cut this off. So I just want to make sure that this is not too rough or so, and that it doesn't have these little things from the cutting that you know, doesn't peek out there. Interestingly, I can see this sanded area looks a little bit orange. First I thought I like this red, even in combination with this orange, but now I'm thinking, shall I perhaps try to make this a little bit rough? Because this is glossy, and with making it rough, on the one hand, it could happen that it turns a little orange. On the other hand, and then it would fit to this, and if it doesn't fit, we could always take some ink and go over this to make it match this. Because I mean, that is really crazy, isn't it? It's a crazy color combination. And these golden elements there are like debossed so that I don't damage that pattern with the sandpaper now. Let's take some Crackling Campfire Oxide ink. No! Oh, oh no! Oh, it works. Well. Oh, but that is actually pretty good. Oh my goodness, I love that. That looks really nice. Oh ja, 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 ja. Das ist ja mal richtig geil. Oh, look. And let's really do baby steps, even when it comes to fuzzy cutting this. Because I also want to use a die cut in a second, a special die cut, to make the green visible through this area. And to be honest, at the moment, I really can't imagine how I want that.
Come on, chameleon, whoop, whoop. Come on, chameleon, flip the page. Your paper home's a colorful stage. Come on, chameleon, whoop, whoop. Blend with ephemera, play and roam. This junk journal is your home, sweet home. So come on, chameleon, whoop, whoop.
Let's take a die cut. I want to have something which can cut out a pattern from a page, but without cutting the outline. So for example, from this set here, this has the number 660220 by Zizix and Tim Holtz, or even from this, which has the number 663869. This is pretty straight. I mean, we could do it like this, cut in here like so, and then just take this and put it on here and cut again. That would be possible. I really like the size of the pieces which are going to be cut here. And this has a lot of open spaces, which means that we would see a ton of the green. That is probably nice. I mean, the green of the cover here. This will not stay this regular. I want to tear off pieces here, but to decide what to tear off, I first want to take this and cut him out to see how it looks, because obviously his head has gone now. So let's first cut around here, then I will glue that to this, and then I will fuzzy cut that out. I think I need to go to my die cutting machine again with exactly this die, and I want to cut some of this area as well. I am really happy that you have already seen the final thing. Because, I mean, what is this? Okay, so then I will be very brave now and glue this down. Oh wait, no, I can't. I can't, because I want to tear some of these pieces away first, but how much and where and what and überhaupt. think I need to decide about a label first, because I want to have a label somewhere here, and that determines also the position of the flowers. Is it now pressing on his head? I need to take a photo of this. Let's take a photo of this, and then how was this? It has never been like this, I think. But this looks nice as well. And then this could be the alternative. This looks really nice because then he's like walking on the label. But that is nice as well when he's walking on the flower. But somehow I have the feeling with this version the label is pressing on his head. That is 0815. Let's do it like this. And we can then decide what to tear away and how much. A little bit afraid. I will take another photo so that I now can take this off without panicking. I will take some collage medium and glue this down. Oh my goodness, Tim, I love you so much. I just love you so much. That is just perfect. This stencil just came to my mind. It has the number THS005. Ooh, this is pretty old. And where's my sandpaper? Oh, I think we will use this in a second. But before we do that, I want to sand these edges off. Can we perhaps make something which functions as more contrast with black texture paste? So then, since this needs to dry, I want to do something else. And I already know that it will wreck my nerves now, but I want to do it. I want to take glossy accents. I want to fill these little areas here with glossy accents to make them, on the one hand, glossy, on the other hand, a little bit raised. Could you use translucent texture paste through the stencil we've just used for the black paste. Yes, obviously, you could do that, but since I already have this paste here, I find it easier with the glossy accents, and I have seen the last live on Tim's channel where he has shown this mosaic effect on these little heart-shaped boxes. Have you seen that? And that inspired me to do something like this here. Perhaps you know that I came pretty late to the Tim party. I don't know what I have done in my life before I, started with junk journaling. And even when I started junk journaling, it took me a pretty long time to find him. I can't explain that. That is somehow a miracle. And very stupid as well. But I thought it could be nice to have something like this here, because when I saw this mosaic technique on his channel and when he demonstrated that, I mean, that is something totally different than I'm doing here, even if it's inspired by what he did. It's different what he did. But I thought, how could I miss that? And then I thought, is it perhaps possible to do something like that here, but a little differently?
Paper chameleons cut with care, peek from journal pages hiding there. Ink-stained tails curl round pressed flowers. In this crafted world they spend their hours. Come on, chameleon, whoop, whoop. Come on, chameleon, flip the page. Your paper home's a colorful stage. Come on, chameleon, whoop, whoop. Blend with ephemera, play and roam. This junk journal is your home, sweet home. So come on, chameleon, whoop, whoop. Scrap paper colors change with the...
This needs to air dry now. So while that thing is drying, let's think about him. I want that he has a pretty, like literally touchable skin. I have already showed you how I made that on some of the chameleons in the journal in a separate video, which you can find in the playlist linked below this video. So I will add my embossing ink. If this was a video game or something similar, I think you would say I fucked up. What? I'm sorry. Why? I mean, it got too hot here and here. It's glossy there now. And that happens when you overheat frosted crystal. Shall I live with this now, or what shall I do? Let's first do the flowers. I want to use frosted crystal on them as well, and let's see how they turn out. And then we decide what we do or not do.
Ephemera, play and roam. This junk journal is your home, sweet home. So come on, chameleon, whoop, whoop. Scrap paper colors change with each spread.
So it's the next day and my glossy accents is now dry, and I'm totally in love with how this came out. It's not too raised and not too flat, so that we can still see this cool pattern. But, that it's not too bam, because, I mean, this is a background, isn't it? I'm so in love with how this turned out. Oh, yeah, and something happened. My chameleon got a baby. After I and realized that my embossing with the frosted crystal went wrong here a little bit. And, you know, I had too much heat here so that it got glossy here. I have put that on here, on my flowers, which also have some frosted crystal on them. And I have put that here, and then I thought, I don't like that when you hold this against the light and it's glossy here and here. So I thought, I know how to do the thing with the frosted crystal, so let's do it again. And for that, I have printed out the page where I have cut this chameleon from again. And I have then cut him out again. This is just the paper, it's not embossed yet, but I have backed that with 2 layers of watercolor paper to make him really, really thick and sturdy, because when I saw this, I also realized that it's not enough distance for my taste to the background. He's not raised enough, so I decided to do it like this. First, back it with more layers, meaning 2 layers of watercolor paper behind the print. And then when I was cutting that out, I thought, why don't I use the advantage that I already have this, because this functions as another layer, doesn't it? So that this comes out even more. Why don't I use this as an advantage, as a background for my chameleon? And then look how I have cut this one out, so that I can place him here, so that now the feet and the tail here are even more dimensional. And now this first layer we made is like a background for this, and this makes it way more dimensional. So what I want to do now is I want to also layer both of these flowers.
Colors change with each spread. Ink-dyed backgrounds make their bed. They climb through pockets full of glee. These tiny friends for you and me. Fold them, stick them, watch them grow. Through paper clippings, see them go. Stenciled patterns.
Okay, what do we have to do next? We have to take this and all of these and our chameleon, and then we have to put our frosted crystal on all of these. Yeah, okay, that was successful. It's a little bit glossy here, but I think I can live with that. Ooh, that looks even pretty cool. Shall we? I am really nervous because I don't know if I want to do that. Shall we add some of the eyeshadow I have used in the journal on the cover as well, on these little things here, or is that then too kitschy and too much? I think I want to try that, because this is nice, but it's at the same time not so dimensional yet. Where is my eyeshadow? This is this is a really, really cheap eyeshadow. I would not put that on my eyes, I guess. Or not on my eyes. Not on my, how is that called? Eyelids? Is that the word? But the cool thing about this is it changes the color depending on the angle of the light. It turns from purple to green, and I really like that. And that fits to these colors as well, I think. So we need a tiny paintbrush or our finger. Let's take a paintbrush. I think I will try how that looks here in the corner, even if that is later on covered from the flower. But if I don't like it, you know, then I can change that. Do you know what? We will take this and we will go here where the black paste is, to the paste and then to the glossy accents. Oh my goodness, yeah, that is so subtle and that looks fabulous. Ah, I love that. I will quickly do that. Quickly, haha. I will speed up the video, okay, so that you don't have to wait until Easter 2029.
Friendly lizards, small and spry, nestle in envelopes, feeling shy. But with a gentle turn of paper, they spring to life, what a caper! Come on, chameleon! Woo!
An alternative to eyeshadow and to this kind of shimmery eyeshadow would be mica stain spray or the spritz, which would also work on black texture base. Of course, in different ways, you know, it reacts differently, but that could look also really nice. Obviously, you would not get this color change effect, but I think if you want to have a little like bling bling, you know, on your cover, that could be a really great alternative. Okay, so then I'm going to use a really thin layer of this fixative to make sure that this stays on here forever. Then I'm going to let this air dry, but that only takes a few minutes. So now, then, let's take these and let's then decide if we want to add something else or if we can already glue everything down. And I'm also not sure if I want this frame or this label thing gold. So I am going to take some gilding wax and I will make it gold and then decide what looks better. I mean, I have more of these labels, so I can still take another one if I don't like the gold. Yeah, and I think I really like that. What I also found in my stash is this little thing. This is made from plastic. That means we will take some white acrylic paint mixed with water. We will take this off because I don't want to splatter to the flowers, because I'm assuming that the splatters won't stay splatters. Ooh. I will again let this air dry. So this is completely dry now. I'm really happy with how these white splatters turned out. And I have a really, really important advice for you. Take your junk journal medicine. That is very important. That is very important. I just had a really, really, I think, good idea, because a second ago I said I don't want to splatter with my white splatters to this surface with the frosted crystal. And I said that because I made the experience when acrylic paint meets this material, it's not smooth, that was not a sentence, I guess, that then the splatters are not round anymore, but they bleed into this rough surface of the frosted crystal. But why don't we take translucent texture paste, mix that with white acrylic paint and then splatter to this? I mean, that could work. What do you think? Because the texture paste, you know, it holds its shape better when you splatter on this, and I want to try that. Is this the right position? Yes. And then after I had that idea, I thought, why don't we try to mix some of the eyeshadow with this to get some splatters in this, in this cool color changing look to the cover. Is that possible? So then I will quickly, or well, I will take my time, but I will layer these. This makes me so happy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so then back to this idea to mix texture paste translucent with the eyeshadow and with white acrylic paint. So then I'm going to take my acrylic paint. This is already mixed with some water. But how to know how much we need? Because when the things here, translucent texture paste is not dry yet, it's obviously also a little bit white and milky. Perhaps I should try that first somewhere. Ooh. Oh, that, oh. Well, okay. I have to be a little bit careful, I think, so that I don't splatter where I don't want. Ooh. Okay, now I think it's getting really artsy. But why not? It's really hard to control. It also leaves these little lines, but I think that looks somehow really interesting. And as you can see, the splatters don't bleed and they don't run into this material. And that is what I wanted. Let's take some of the eyeshadow. How much? I have no idea. Yeah, I think that can be a really nice addition. Few here, and I'm trying to splatter to the chameleon as well. And since this needs to dry now, let's also use that chance and that drying time to add some glossy accents to the eye of the chameleon. Then this needs to dry, obviously.
Where fun abounds, come on chameleon, whoop, whoop. Come on chameleon, flip the page. Your paper home's a colorful stage. Come on chameleon, whoop, whoop. Blend with ephemera, play and roam. This junk journal is your home, sweet home. So come on chameleon, whoop. Friendly lizards, small and spry, nestle in envelopes, feeling shy. But with a gentle turn of paper, they spring to life, what a caper! Come on chameleon, whoop, whoop, whoop. Come on chameleon, flip the page. Your paper home's a colorful stage. Come on chameleon, whoop, whoop.
Decorative stitching, check. Drying time finished, check. Label in the same color scheme like the cover, check. But then I thought I need somehow some more fluffy stuff around the cover here, and I want to try this lace. I think that is pretty good. So let's see if we want some of this there as well. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then I will put this on top of the other thing, but a little more under the cover than the other piece is, so that we have 2 layers of that material there. You might be wondering why this is here on my table. That has a reason, because when I had this and I had this other piece I've just brought away on here, I didn't like anymore that the spine is so solid blue. I mean, a second ago I have glued this on here exactly like that and I liked it, but you know, that is life and that is junk journaling. That you, when you have something, and especially when you then open the journal and you flip through the journal, you think, okay, something is going wrong regarding to the cohesiveness of the pages and the cover. On the pages, I have many, like really small details, and until now, the journal is also not finished yet. That means here will come more, like, detailed things to the pages, and when then this is so solid, I have the feeling that doesn't fit so well. Then I will enjoy the drying time with my cold coffee. So then we can attach this here. I will, in a second, after I have stopped the video here, place the journal again to my table like it was when I glued this, and then I will put some heavy things on here so that the glue can dry really, really well. But I quickly wanted to show you the final result. Finally. Okay, so you can see it definitely needs some weight on here because the glue can't dry when it's like so. But yeah, this is it, and I'm really, really in love how this turned out. It was a long journey, but I hope you could get some inspiration from this, and perhaps also some tips and tricks from how I do the things. Perhaps you want to try out some of these things for your own journals, and hopefully we will see you the next time with another creative idea also in this journal. So stay tuned for that. Bye bye.